like according to the kosher laws, it's very different. Like a different kind, a regular kind of pot, if you don't use it for 24 hours, it kind of gets more like a par status, and then if something happened and you made a mistake, you're probably okay. But when it comes to like cast iron, it's like real natural material. It's not like it's not lined with anything. So the oil goes right in and it permeates everything.
Is it like porous into the cast iron?
I can see wood, but I can't believe it doesn't in the iron.
It permeates the iron. It permeates all natural materials.
Wood too.
It permeates wood. That's when we like shellac things in, right? So what are these qualities? So the Rebbe has a special like twist on these different qualities and how it has to do with the Jewish people. So the first thing is that in order for us to really figure out who we are, like the Jewish identity, and you have to really be crushed. You have to be humble. You have to find your humility first. You can't think you're all on top but once you're humble and you break through yourself and you know who you are, then you can actually rise to the top, because your rising to the top is not in a way of being arrogant. It's rising to the top and like bringing out the best of you. That's the kind of perspective of that. And in terms of not mixing, it's like we always have to remember that we are different than the other nations. That's like the not mixing part. And the fourth one, which is permeating, is that once we figure out what our identity is and what our inner light is, right? And we rise to the top with it, which is we kind of bring out the best in ourselves, then we try to permeate others with it too, and try to share it with others and share the light with other people. So this is just the qualities of olive oil. That's the first part that I thought of. The second thing I thought about the olives more, which is it's written in the Tanya, which is a Hasidic book that the first Chabad Rebbe wrote, and it talks about when I don't know, let's do our parsha of the week as well. Okay, the Torah portion. So maybe Leah knows it. The Torah portion, because she was reading about her work. So basically, it's talking about how Isaac is going to give the blessing to Esau, and then at the end, the twin brother Jacob kind of tricks him, and he's the one that brings him the food, and he gets the blessing. Whatever, it's a story, right? So when Isaac tells his older son Esau to go make him food, he says, "Go make me food," and it has a specific term in Hebrew. It says, "Mit'amim," make me like delicious food, tasty food that I enjoy, right? Asher ahafti, that I enjoy. And the commentaries explain that there's two different types of tasty food. One type of tasty food is that it's just naturally tasty, like sweet foods, things that have like sugar, just like naturally, they're just like comfortable to eat and nice and comfortable. But then you have a different type of tasty food, which is things that in their natural form, they're bitter, or they're very not processed, like you're not able to eat them in their regular natural form. And then you work through them and you process them into something, and then they become tasty. So for example, chocolate.
Okay, no, you can't eat it in its
Oh yeah, it's
natural
bad,
state.
right?
It's bitter.
So the example that's given is like pickles. Or no, but chocolate might be too.
Yeah, chocolate definitely.
Yeah, pickles, olives. So I'm thinking olives because I'm thinking of the olive oil. Okay, if you pick an olive off a tree, it is a bitter nothing. It doesn't taste like anything, and it's just bitter. It's not edible, right? You can't eat it the way it is. The olives that we're eating are all pickled, right? They're all salted or whatever and processed, and then you eat it. And so this kind of represents that there's two different types of service of Hashem. There's one type of service of Hashem. It's just natural. It's easy. It comes easy to you. Those are the things that we're good at. The good things that we're good at. Like people have their qualities. People have their great things about them, right? And they share, and it's wonderful. But then we all have our olives. We all have the parts of us that are not so processed, not so well done, fully done. And when we work through those things, and then we make them into tasty food for Hashem, we make them into something that is enjoyable for God, that in a way is even greater. It's even more tasty than the plain sugary cookies and whatever. And so that's the second aspect of olive oil. I'm going to take it for a couple minutes. Okay.
I want it back.
Your hair and your earrings.
I know, she grabbed my hair, like ripping up.
And the third one, I think, has, so by the way, the first one that I was thinking of, I think it has a lot to do with us today. Like, we just have to remember who we are as a Jewish nation, the different qualities, and to permeate the light, and to do all of those things. Now for the third one, this one is the most intricate, but it's also from a Hasidic discourse. This is actually the last Hasidic discourse that the Rebbe actually handed out to everybody before he had his stroke. And so everyone kind of considers this to be like almost like the last message, the takeaway. Like, this is the message that we need to hear, you know? And so it discusses the olive oil for the menorah. And it says in the Torah that this is the verse, okay? You, Moshe, Ata Titzaveh, you should go and command the Jewish people to take Shemen Zayizach, which is pure olive oil, Kasis Lama'ar, which is crushed for the luminary. And it should really have said crushed to light, but it says crushed to luminary, crushed to the essence, to the core. And so there's a lot of different questions on this verse. And by the way, when there's questions on verses, that's what really crushes us and brings out the light. It's like, it brings, like, you have to work hard. You have to crush the olive, and then you get the light from inside the olive. You get the oil, right? So when there's questions, that's when you know there's something hidden in there that's waiting for you to unlock. And so it's amazing, the concept that's brought out here. And that is that we as a Jewish nation, we want to always connect with God, right? We want to always connect with Hashem. We want to have faith and all of that. But there's a great distance between me, the simple me, and Hashem, the infinite God, right? So Hashem put in this world leaders for each generation. So for example, Moses, right? He was the leader in his generation. And he was the one that helped the Jewish people connect to Hashem. And he was the shepherd of faith, and a faithful shepherd. But he was the shepherd of faith. He shepherded the Jewish people with faith. He literally, nourished them with the faith, and he helped them crush themselves to bring out the light. Meaning, he helped them see who they really are. He helped them figure out their identity, figure out their essence. And what happens is, in different generations throughout Jewish history, we've had leaders who have shepherded us with faith and helped us bring out the faith in us, the light inside of us, right? The example that's given is like the example of the Purim story, where you have Haman and Esther and Mordecai, right? And Mordecai goes and he shepherds the Jewish people with faith. And in this situation, it wasn't so simple, where they were like, they were under a decree. And every single Jewish person of the entire known world was under the Persian Empire of that time. And they were all decreed for annihilation. That means that if that decree would come about, the entire Jewish people would be annihilated. That was the situation.
And that's
at
where
that
they
time.
all were?
They all were, and Ahasuerus ruled all 127 countries of the known world at that time.
I never really realized that, because I never realized that was such an important story.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most.
Yeah, and we actually, since that time, until this generation, we haven't really been safe. We haven't really been. This generation is really. When we came to America, there's no. It's not for no reason that we call it, the golden Medina, right? The golden country, because it really gave us the opportunity to practice as Jews. So back to the story of Queen Esther and Mordecai. So during that time, they were under pressure. They were, so to speak, if you want to call it, crushed. They were in a crushing situation. They were in a challenging time. And because of that, and with the help of the shepherd Mordecai, right? Because sometimes if we're in a crushing situation, let's be honest, we just let ourselves crush and we just cry it out and we go crazy and we fall, right? But if you have the guidance of a righteous individual, leader of a generation, who is connecting you to Hashem, then the crushing situation doesn't go down. It actually crushes and it releases the essence of the person. And the essence of the person is their light. And it brings out the best of the person. And it makes you have pride and power and strength to overcome the situation. And this is what happened in the story of Purim, where the Jewish people, they connected with Mordecai, and through shepherding them with this faith and guiding them, they were able to bring out their essence, and they stood strong even though we had this crazy decree, they stood strong. And the Rebbe said that unfortunately we've had these situations throughout Jewish history where we had to stand strong, and Jewish leaders had to help us through and guide us and bring out our essence. And so that's the concept of like the crushing of the olive oil, that when the olive oil is crushed, the olive is crushed, that is when the oil is released. Now, by the way, I don't know if you've ever seen a raw olive get crushed, but it's not so simple. Because Yessi's, maybe 15 years ago, when he still did it, he's done like olive oil workshops before Hanukkah, and you have like this little thing, and it's like an olive oil press, and you have a little centrifuge and all this stuff, and it's not so simple, by the way. You put in these olives, these raw olives.
Does it have a pit net too?
Yeah. You put in these raw olives, and you think you're gonna get olive oil, right? No olive oil, you're getting olive juice. Okay? Just like, you can compare it to like grapes. When you have a grape, so the grape also has like, I guess as you want to call it, something hidden inside of it. It has grape juice, right? And then when you squeeze the grape, you get the juice. But it's very simple. It's like, it's right there.
Well, let me ask you a question. They call the first pressing extra virgin olive oil. So at what point does it no longer become juice and is the first press
right? That's
extra
an
virgin
excellent question.
olive oil?
What am I hearing?
The kid's behind the chair.
Well, did you have to smush up the
Skin?
Yeah, the skin to get
So
it?
I'll tell you. Remind me that in a second, okay? So with wine, it also has something hidden that you're releasing from it, but it's not so hidden. It's not so hard to get. You squeeze, you press your grape, and you got the juice, okay? Because you're looking for the juice. But if you're trying to get oil is like the essence of it. The essence of it is actually harder to get. So when you press the olives, you are basically getting olive juice, and then either you use a centrifuge or it sits. You'll see that a little bit on the top ends up being oil from a whole big juice, right?
So it separates from the juice.
Right, and it's not a lot. It's like you're crushing,
you need
and
to
you get a
apply
little bit of
olives
olive
to
oil,
get a
but
little
that
oil.
olive oil lights. It actually does light, right? And so that's what we want. We're looking for the light. We're looking for the essence of the person. So your question is interesting. It says for the menorah, you're only allowed to use shemen zayis zach, which is pure olive oil, which is just a couple of first drops.
First drops.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then,
But when you
because
eat it too,
sometimes,
and they call it extra virgin olive oil
Yes.
on the bottle, it's supposed to be the first pressing.
right, but I don't think it's the same strict as the menorah. Because
So what do you mean?
there's
You were gonna
there's
do
different
the
like,
eighth
there's
night
different things
say.
that they use the menorah, or there's different things you use olive oil in the temple for, okay? The olive oil you use for the menorah has to be literally the first few drops. Then afterwards you take the olives and you squeeze them more, and you do the skins and everything, whatever else you
But
just
you-
said.
How would you have enough of the first few drops to light all the candles?
You need a lot of olives.
You need a lot of olives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't
So what do you look for when you want to purchase the Zach olive oil?
Oh, so this is talking about in the times of the temple.
Oh, okay.
Yes, in times of the temple, and that's what they would use. But there's other things they use oil for, and they would for that you could use the rest of the olive oil that came from the olives, not the most pure. So, but what the Rebbe says is that in our so there is the situation where you have outside influences crushing you, and you're like a crushing olive where it releases your essence. Obviously, with the guidance of the leaders of the time, right? But he was saying that in our generation, what's the test? The test is that if after the challenge passes, you're still able to keep the inspiration going, you're still able to have the feeling of being crushed, and still having that Jewish pride, and still going in and trying to do more mitzvahs and learn more Torah, like in the same passionate way that you did while you were under the challenging duress, situation, that is the test that has permeated you through and through. And so the Rebbe gave examples. He said, I saw with my own eyes the Jews came from the Soviet Union, former Soviet Union. When they were in the Soviet Union, they literally sacrificed their lives for God. When they were told they're not allowed to practice, they would continue practicing. They would continue teaching the children Torah. Underground. And then they were taken away to the KGB and they were murdered or they were put into exile, right? And these same individuals, when they came to America, oh, it's okay, fine, I'll throw my tefillin off the boat. Just because they're not under that pressure anymore. So it's a new world, it's a different country, right? So the Rebbe is saying that is the test for us, that after we're not in that challenging time, are we able to create that pressure internally? Not from any outside influence, but just from our own self, saying that it's not okay that we're still in exile. It's not okay that we are not, in a time of Mashiach where we have the third temple and we're all in Israel and all that we're always looking for, and we say 3 times a day in our prayers and all of that. The fact that we're not there yet, it causes us to have our own internal pressure that we create, and we crush our own knowledge. Not for anything. The world is good. Everything is good. So I was thinking of this in relation to what happened with us now in Israel and around the world because of that. And I was thinking that, I feel like a lot of Jewish people are their essence is shining right now. This is the time where it's like everyone, so many Jewish people feel like they have to speak up. They want to do more. They want to put on tefillin even if they didn't put it on for 60 years. They want to wear the tzitzit. And our real test is going to be when this passes. Do we let it permeate ourselves fully through and through? Not just that it released our essence and then it kind of just went back to how we used to be. There's no going back to pre-October 7th. We have to just move forward, up and up and up and up, and take this essence and let the light permeate through our whole selves, and take this light and let it permeate to everyone around us, and literally bring us. I feel like that all of Jewish history was preparing us for this moment. This moment, are we going to pass this test? Are we going to be able to win this battle of, good over evil? And I think we will. Hopefully, it will be not too long. And this is the pinnacle of all of creation, waiting for us to pass this battle and bring that special light of Hashem back to this world that used to be here on day 1 of creation that was hidden away. And
I think it might be like the precursor to Mashiach coming.
It must be. We can't go lower than this, right?
Right. I mean, it seems like certain things have to be in place where the Jews have to come together, even if it's like just mentally around the world, feel part of it.
Yeah. The Jewish unity, all these beautiful things that have come out of this terrible, terrible situation, we have to keep them up. That's I think the message of the olive oil, of the olives, from this verse. Sorry, it took longer than I expected. So, you were giving it over to you. I was like, how do I follow that?
I know, right? It's true. She's very detailed. Okay, so I guess I will go on up and
If you need a helper, Dina is a great helper.
oh, okay.
Like, measuring things and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, but wait, we have to be quiet. She's being quiet. You gotta be quiet.
So, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to make a few things with olive oil, of course, and essential oils, and Lane, Leah got everything out, so let's get started, and I have my little helper. Alrighty, do you want to come on this side? So we can start with the body scrub, okay? So we are going to use the extra virgin olive oil. Of course, as we're gearing up for Hanukkah, chocolates. I thought I'd bring them. All right, so for our body scrub, we need a half.
We have recipes for you guys to take home afterwards. If you want to do anything you see up there.
wonderful.
I need explicit directions. Like the,
Do you have some sugar?
Same here.
I'm an explicit direction.
Most of these recipes have 3 ingredients.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
Because anything more than 3 I can't do.
I get baby like yours that sleeps.
Yeah.
My baby does not sleep.
How old's your baby?
Wow.
Oh, and what's his name?
His name is Bennett.
Oh, that's a good name.
We call him Oshi at home. My 3-year-old Levi, she's autistic, so when I was pregnant, we told him, well, we're gonna name the baby, and he said, no, the baby's name is Oshi, and my mom said, I wanted, because we were toying with a middle name of Oshri, so he can't say an R, so we think that's why he's calling him Oshi, but he loves it. So maybe we'll transition to Oshri when he can pronounce it.
Is that sugar or flour?
Sugar.
Sugar. Oh yeah, sugar is what I use for scrubs.
Halloween.
When my granddaughter turned 1 on September.
She's an awesome little helper.
Hana don't bark, okay? But do you wanna help for the next meeting, maybe?
My friends that had triplets, and 2 girls and a boy, and one of the girls' names was Oshi.
Oh,
O'Share,
Oh,
O'Share, but
Cher,
they
yeah.
call her
Oshi,
Oshi,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, good to know.
Oshi, and then it was Yoni, was the girl. I know boys can be Yoni also, but she's girl. And then Rubin, they called him Ruby, yeah.
I do too.
My oldest is Matan. He's
Oh, we call him
always,
Maddie.
no, we call him Matan.
Matan.
But he always says to me that he's got the most Israeli name. So he says no one can ever miss him.
You know, I love that name, but my husband was with no M's.
Okay.
Like he was very specific, like
No one.
So
No
let's
M's.
ask the ladies.
because how many?
So-
Oh.
Yeah,
How
so
many?
we need 20 drops of essential oil. It doesn't matter. Remember, we're making what?
Body
Body scrub.
Okay, so somebody could shout out.
Lavender,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
All
Very
right.
relaxing.
So let's
Body
two drops.
I've done it, but I just did the
Let's count with her, ladies.
Okay.
Okay,
1,
3,
2,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
Okay.
Okay, so
You
we're
did not
waiting
sit around?
for a larger bowl.
just did olive oil, brown sugar,
I'm
no measurements, I was just throwing it together and rubbing it.
You need a larger bowl?
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure it worked out really
It's
well.
just olive oil.
Oh yeah, my
and
skin felt amazing.
sugar.
And
Oh, hot tip?
Yeah.
So once you mix that up, you just put it at the bottom of the tub when you're running your water, or is that for more than 1 bath?
Definitely more than one bath. Yeah, definitely more than one.
I
You
think
can
this
even
recipe
turn it
needs
into balls. Yeah.
Say again?
You can turn it into little balls.
Oh,
Oh, make little bath balls.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or you can put it in a container. I'm
Put it
big on
into a
glass.
small muffin tins?
Yeah, and then, okay, I'm gonna let you stir it up.
With
So
the
what
parchment?
you can do is, I'm big on glass, so I would put it in a ball glass jar, and then when you want some.
They're going in
Oh,
there.
that's a good idea.
So, yeah.
Oh,
So she's gonna stir it up.
that's smarter than what
You can go. All right.
That's the dictate whether you can
It will go, huh?
mold or
Okay,
not.
put it into one of these.
So just get right
You
in
just put it
there.
like in the bathtub.
And you know how you can buy scrubs, you see them in the stores, you can buy them. Well, you can just like rub it on your body, and then just rub it in the tub and let it soak. Yeah, you can find those out.
Yeah.
Then they have
They're
the
amazing,
body
right?
scrub recipe.
They just brought me in December.
Oh,
Thank you.
That's one serving of it though?
Well, that would probably be at least
Okay.
maybe
Yeah,
6
oh.
jars.
Oh.
Or
So
more.
is one
Yeah.
4-ounce jar
So-
one bath?
I don't think so. I think you just take a little bit and scrub it around.
Right.
Really good.
Probably like a tablespoon.
It's not a soap.
Right.
Probably like a tablespoon, like a heaping
You know,
tablespoon.
what I was gonna make
And then
like,
just-
And then we get to the
think
rub.
all the things you can actually make. Because I'm gonna be honest, I grew up in a family that couldn't buy it, there was no point to it. We didn't think. Yeah, we had a deep, I didn't have like canning or, we basically made it out of the shower.
Okay. So we're gonna pass this around, ladies.
So I lost a body scrub too, like I settled at the art fair.
So if you want to take home some of this scrub, you could fill up your jar and then pass it around. If you want to take home some of this scrub.
I always think like,
So ladies, while you're in the tub, just scoop into your jar. So scoop into your jar and just rub it on your body.
So you want to rub it hard, kind of?
No, gentle. Gentle, just gently rub it on you. Okay?
I thought it was like
Yeah.
forceful.
Yes.
It really, but don't, no, just you gotta be gentle with your skin. Yes.
it's great.
Oh, yes. Alright, so we did our body scrub. How does it smell, ladies?
Amazing.
Smells nice.
I love lavender.
Alright, let's move on to our next. Let's go with. Let's go with the Cocoa Mint Lip Balm.
Ooh, okay, so the lip balm.
Wait, what flavor did you say?
Cocoa mint.
Cocoa Mint Lip Balm.
This is really good.
Okay, so that's beeswax.
Lavender kind of hides my issue with my.
Okay, we have our beeswax ladies.
Oh, actually.
Make a second batch if you need. It's just olive oil and sugar, right?
Yeah, this is the beeswax. Really?
So we're doing the cocoa mint lip balm now?
Yes.
Here.
Oh.
Oh yeah, now I smell lavender. I smelled it and I wasn't smelling.
Can you call that for me?
I think they've been passed out.
The cocoa mint?
All the,
Oh, she did.
yeah,
Oh.
all the rest of it.
Oh, okay. So this is the beeswax, ladies.
Oh, that was good. That was really great. I gotta say that was really good. So which one is this?
Making lip balm.
Yes.
Okay, so let's call, where did you get beeswax?
You can buy it at the health food store or online.
Oh, really?
And it's being melted in that,
Is that little bud?
so it has, this one has 4 ingredients.
No problem.
Wait, what are you doing with it over there?
So we're melting the beeswax?
How? It's, oh, it's a little.
Tammy, if you're open for a dry,
Yes.
up by me, but past me, I
And
wanna
then
say
we're gonna have
distilled
our
water or
cocoa
even
butter.
above that.
Yeah.
There is a special store and they sell all different types of wax, beeswax.
Really?
Yeah, they actually,
sweater.
you can buy anything you want if you want and have bees, like, you know, to take care of the bees and have your own hive.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really nice store.
How, is it like, close to, the cemetery, like towards more on that way, or is it south of there? Or do you know the name of it? Maybe I'll stop by.
I would just look up
Beeswax.
Beeswax,
Yeah.
and it's, I think it's like half an hour, 20 minutes away from me.
What is?
Away.
It's on 4 on the way up there.
I have no clue where
No.
it is. I went there only a couple times, but
I'll
I did buy
look it up.
Beeswax there.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you a lot. I love where you, I drive by where you are all the time.
How do you drive by there all the time?
Because there's some, okay, there's a,
She's in Johnsonville, I know where you are.
yeah, or I didn't say by, in that area.
She's
In that
stopping
area.
at a mile.
I'll make a second
No, I
batch.
go, okay, I go to the house, you wanna know?
You were gonna make another run?
We could make another batch.
It's okay.
It's nothing, it's sugar and oil.
Okay, yeah.
I go, here, you wanna make another drive in?
Let's go ahead.
I go to the back and you're gonna come with me?
Okay, go make another batch.
That's-
Oh, just teasing me.
No. I also go to the farmer's market.
I'll come visit when you come by, I'll go.
I know, I think I should go with lavender.